taking on the Vikings.
Just excited to support my Broncos.
The Broncos go head-to-head for the last preseason game, and there's plenty on the line.
We got a lot of guys that are trying to get a job today.
I'm back.
Only a handful of spots are left, and tonight should decide who makes the cut.
We're the tried and true orange and blue Broncos #1.
Let's go Broncos!
Good evening. It's all eyes on the Broncos tonight at Power Field, taking on Minnesota for the last match before the regular season starts.
The starters are sitting this one out so we can see who will rise to the top and take a coveted first-string spot. Thank you so much for joining us for Denver 7 News at 10. I'm Jacqueline Allen.
And I'm Bayan Wang. It's been quite the show at Mile High tonight. The score right now is 20-13 Broncos with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Woohoo! And we will have the latest on the game and the starting roster in just a moment. But first, let's get to our top news stories of the night. A tragedy that shook the community of Castle Rock is now bringing them closer together. 3 weeks ago, just before school started, 2 teens were killed, 2 others injured after their car was hit by a suspected drunk driver. And this weekend, a local restaurant took the initiative to help the families. Amy Waters was there and joins us live in the studio with more on how you can help too.
Well, Bayan and Jacqueline, Colton Bellamy was one of the teens killed in this crash. Both he and his mom worked for Smashburger. Colton worked as a chef at the restaurant in Castle Rock. His mom worked for corporate. Smashburger says they wanted to do all they could to support the families involved in this horrific crash.
He was the type of person that people just wanted to be around. He made people smile.
Ty Gerke says 17-year-old Colton Bellamy was full of life, even when he was on the job as a cook at Smashburger in Castle Rock. Gerke says Colton worked at the burger chain on and off for a little over a year.
He was the one that if you knew you were going to work with him that night, you looked forward to your shift.
Colton was one of 4 17-year-olds involved in a late-night crash on August 5th. Investigators say they were struck by suspected drunk driver, 25-year-old Ricky Avalos Trujillo, who's facing multiple charges, including vehicular homicide and DUI. Colton and Audrey Todd were killed. Maddie Tobler and an unidentified teen are recovering from their injuries.
All right, swing it over.
Gerke says Smashburger had to do something to help the Bellamy family out, so they're running a fundraiser all weekend. $1 from every double burger sold will be donated to Colton Bellamy's family, and the restaurant will match funds raised. Mark Vaughn says he doesn't know anyone involved, but had to do something to help. Donated $100.
I lost my son right before his 16th birthday. He took his own life. No child should die before a parent, you know what I'm saying? It's just hard. I feel the empathy for the families to lose a son or a child.
We just want to support him, whatever we can for them.
Chef Ty Gerke says a lot of people have been contributing money to the fundraiser so far. The fundraiser continues through tomorrow. Guests can also leave cash or contribute to the GoFundMe. Money will help out all the families affected. Jacqueline?
All right, thank you so much, Amy. Our hearts go out to them. New tonight, Greeley police now have a suspect in custody after a woman was sexually assaulted and killed while she was at work. Family members have now confirmed the victim was 22-year-old Angie Vega. A memorial now sits outside the store where she was working Friday night. Police say they were called to NoCo Nutrition. It was last night just before 8 on a report the business had been broken into and a female employee was missing. A few hours later, the employee's car was found near 71st and 20th with a woman's body inside. Neighbors stunned by what happened.
I have so much anger because I am a female. She's never going to have kids. She's never going to get married. And that's not fair.
24-year-old Marcos Vallejos is now being held on first-degree murder and sexual assault charges. The salon next door is now planning a fundraiser for the victim's family, and once that is arranged, we will let you know.
So incredibly heartbreaking, Jacqueline. Thank you. A man is in custody tonight after a shooting outside of a bar in Greeley 2 weeks ago. Police issued a warrant for Efren Sanchez earlier today and say he was arrested not long after on August 13th. Police say a masked gunman shot a rifle into a crowd outside the Rancho El Corazon bar. The 2 people who were shot survived. Sanchez has been charged with 8 counts of attempted murder.
Aurora police arrest a man accused of vandalizing 15 businesses with racist graffiti. Police say a tip led them to Jonathan Abraham, accused of spray painting 15 different locations between August 14th and 22nd. Detectives also say they connected him to 4 aggravated robberies that happened back in April.
A stretch of I-70 is shut down in the Denver Metro this weekend as CDOT puts the finishing touches on the Central 70 project. This is for the westbound lanes of I-70 between 270 and Brighton. During this closure, CDOT will get rid of the barriers inside the westbound tunnel and also restripe the interstate. That stretch will stay closed until Monday morning at 5. The project is expected to be all wrapped up by the end of spring next year.
New at 10, how dangerous to national security was former President Trump's handling of classified documents? Tonight we are learning that's the question top intelligence officials hope to answer with a new risk assessment. Records show a search of Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort revealed classified records, some labeled top secret, including information dealing with American spies. Now, reviewing those documents to determine the level of risk to national security is what's happening next. Former President Trump maintains he did nothing wrong.
A festival celebrating Ukraine's independence was held in Littleton today. The country's Independence Day was this past Wednesday, which also marked 6 months since the beginning of Russia's invasion. Some attendees say the event was a good opportunity to remind people of the atrocities still happening in Ukraine.
Somehow the world has forgotten about what's going on, and we're here today to pull together a lot of money to send through the Organization of Ukrainians for Colorado.
Governor Polis spoke at the event today and said via Twitter, "We stand by our Ukrainian brothers and sisters, and our thoughts are with those here in Colorado who fear for friends, families, and loved ones in Ukraine."
Ready, set, go! Denver 7 is putting our backs into it. This is our Denver 7 team pulling a 65,000-pound Gulfstream jet for the annual Special Olympics Colorado plane pool. We have an update tonight. This event raised more than $175,000 for Special Olympics athletes in our state.
All right, stick with us. Our coverage of the Broncos' final preseason game is just getting started. Our Denver sports team is breaking down their matchup against the Vikings coming up.
And our afternoon highs today, right around 90 degrees here for the Front Range. And I'll let you know how hot it will be tomorrow and whether or not we'll see some rain into the afternoon and evening coming up.